Good morning, students. Welcome back. So, today's session is on data structures. In data structures, previous class we started with a topic called linked list. So, today's class we will be continuing the same topic. So, today's class we will be continuing the linked list topic. So, data structures, it is today's session is 13th session on data structures, and the topic what we will be discussing today is linked list. So let us have a quick look on to the weightage of this chapter which I have been telling this. So let us quickly have a look, and then we will proceed with the actual topic. So before starting the actual topic, let us have a recap of the topics what we have discussed in our previous sessions. So in the previous class we had a discussion on linked list, types of linked list, singly linked list, doubly linked list, and circular linked list. So these were and the different operations that can be performed on linked list. So we shall proceed the next coming topics in this particular chapter. We had also discussed how to create a node. So let us have a discussion on linked list. First, we'll see how we can create a node. As we know that a node has two parts, the data and the link part. Data stores the actual value and link stores the address of the next node. Let us see in the program how we can create the linked list. Node, how we can create a node. Dynamically, the memory space is allocated for the linked list using new operator, node, new node. So we are creating a node called new node. So P is equal to new node. So P stands for the new node. Data of P is equal to num. So imagine the name of the node what we are creating is P, and the data stored is some number and the link is null. So this is how we are creating the new node. So we will write a program in which we will add or append nodes. Hash include iostream.h class link list. So we are creating a linked list. We have given the class name as link list. So private struct node. Struct node creates a new node with two values in it. One is the data and the other one is the link. Then we are taking a pointer called start. In the public we are taking four member functions. Class linked list has one node and four functions. One is the constructor linked list, the other one is print, which prints the contents of the linked list, append, which will add a new node, and then void count, which will tell us the total number of nodes present in the linked list. First we have the constructor. As soon as the object is created for linked list, start becomes null. What is start here? Start always points to the first node in the list. It always refers to the first node in the list. So as you can see, the linked list starts, and start, it points to the first node. So from the first node we can go on to the second node. From second node we can move to third node. Like that we can access all nodes. But start, it always refers to the first node. As we are creating a new list, we are making start as null. As of now there are no nodes in the list. It's an empty list. To indicate empty list, that means we are creating but no nodes have been still added. To indicate that, we are making start as null. So next we have the print method. So print method that will print the contents of the linked list. Void linked list print. If start is equal to null, when will we start null? When there is empty list. So we will print linked list is empty, return. If start is equal to null, there are no nodes. If there are no nodes, it is not possible to print the data. Otherwise, we will traverse. Cout linked list contains node star p. P is of type node is equal to start. We are making P to point to the first node, and we will print the data till we reach null. So as we know that last node will always, the link part will always be null. So as P is pointing to the starting node, while P not equal to null, if P is not equal to null, we are printing the data, and P is equal to P of link. We are making P to move to the next node, and again we will print the data and will move P to the next node. As we know that once P reaches the last node, the link part is always null. So when P becomes null, this process stops. The traversing process stops. So here we have a member function to add a node at the end of the linked list, and the function name is append, and the data value is given. Node, new node. We are creating a new node and we are adding the data and we are making null, link as null. So we are creating a node. So a node is created. Creating a node, and the new node is created. The new node has two parts, data part and the link part. Data part we are storing some number, and link part we are storing it null. If start is equal to null, then we are making start as the new node. That means we are adding a new node to the first. If the list is empty, the new node itself will become the first node. Otherwise, so what we will do is, here is node P is equal to start. So P, we are making P to start to the new node. So we are making P to point to the starting node. We are using a loop where P of link not equal to null. So we are moving P pointer to the last node, and then we are attaching the new node to the link, so that the node is attached towards the end of the linked list. So now we have the next function, that is count. So count will count the total number of nodes present in the linked list. So we are taking P. P is of type node and C is equal to 0. P is equal to start. So as we know that start stores the address of the first node. We are starting with the first node and P not equal to null. Till P becomes null, we are making C plus plus, that is C is equal to 0. We are incrementing the count by 1 and each time when we increment the count and then we say P is equal to P of link. That means P is equal to P of link will make the P to move to the next node. And like that we start moving from the beginning. And last node, once we reach last node, as we know that the last node's link is null. So P is not equal to null becomes false. Control comes out of the loop and we get the total number of nodes available in the list. So we are printing the total number of elements in the linked list, that is in that count is present in C. The execution always starts from main. So here we are creating linked list, new linked list. We are creating a new linked list. First we are printing. So when we print, there are no elements, so it will print empty list. Then we are at append 100. Then we are adding 100. Then we are printing. So 100 will be printed. Then we are printing the count. Count will be 1. Again we are appending 200. Then we are printing. So linked list will have 100 and 200. And then we are printing count. Count will be 2. Next we are appending 300. So 300 is added. Now we are printing. So 100, 200, 300 will be printed. Then we are printing count. Count will be 3 as there are 3 elements. So let us check out the program output. So first we are printing the list. So it will say that list is empty. Then we are appending 100. So then we are printing. So 100 is printed. Then we are printing the count. Count will be 1. Next we are inserting 200 and then we are printing. So 100 and 200 will be printed and the count will be 2. Then we are inserting 300. After inserting 300, the list will have 100, 200 and 300 and the count will be 3. So this is about the program output. Next let us see the first operation on linked list, that is the different operations that can be performed on linked list are insertion, deletion, traversal, searching, merging. And the first operation is traversing the list. What is traversing? Traversing is the process of accessing each node. We are accessing each node in the linked list at least one time for some operation. We are not deleting, we are just accessing each element in the linked list to perform some operation. So we begin with the first node. What is traversing? So traversing is moving from the beginning to the last node. We are accessing each node to perform some operation. So we are accessing at least one time each node to perform the operation. So to traverse, what we will do? First we will begin with the first node. Then we fetch the data, we access the data in that node. Then we make the pointer to move to the next node. And we repeat the process until we reach all the nodes, that is until we reach the last node. So this is how traversing is done. So let us see the algorithm to perform traversing operation. This algorithm traverses the linked list. Here start contains the address of the first node and P is a temporary pointer which will visit all the nodes from start to end. So let us see, here we have P is equal to start. P is the temporary pointer which will visit all nodes. So as we have to visit all the nodes, we start with the first node. So P is equal to start. Then we repeat the process until we reach the last node. So we are checking while P not equal to null. P is not equal to null, then we process the data which is in P and then we make P to move to the next node. P is equal to link of P. Like that we will do it until we reach the last node. How will we know that we have reached last node? As every time P is equal to link of P, we are storing link to the P. As we know that the last node's link is always null. So we are checking P not equal to null. Once P becomes null, which means that we have reached the last node, the process stops. This is how we are checking or fetching the data from beginning to end. Let us see the memory allocation to a linked list. As we know that computer's memory has limited resources. Therefore, some mechanism is required where the memory space of the deleted node become available for future use. When you dynamically allocate memory and when you deallocate it, that memory has to be made available for future use. And also, to insert a node to the linked list, the deleted node should be removed from the linked list. The operating system, it maintains a special list called avail. So avail is a linked list which is used by the operating system, which contains all unused or deleted nodes. Avail is a list which stores the information about the unused or deleted nodes. That means when we delete the node, that space is available. So that is available, that is indicated in avail list which is used by the operating system. Avail list, whenever a node is inserted, first the available memory locations are checked in the avail list. So whenever a node is deleted from the linked list, its memory is added to the avail. That means that indicates the memory's availability of the memory. Avail is also called as the free storage or free pool. Next is inserting a node to the linked list. So a node can be inserted into the linked list only if the free nodes are available in the avail list. Otherwise, a node cannot be inserted. To a linked list, a node can be added at the beginning, at the given position, or at the end. Let us see each one of them. So, inserting a node at the beginning. So, you can see here new node is added at the beginning. The old link changes to the new link. So, inserting a node at the given position. So, here you can see the node can be added to any specified position, anywhere, beginning, end, or any in the middle of the list, or any specific position. Next we have inserting a node at the end of the linked list. As there are 10, 20, 30 available in the list, now we want to add 40. 40 is the new node. So we can insert a node at the end, that means after 30. So 40 comes after 30. 40 is the new node which will be added. So this is about today's session. So next class we will be learning in detail the programming part, how to insert a node in the beginning specified position and at the end. Hope you have understood. It is little difficult to understand the programming part. I do understand that. But whenever we have class, we will have a discussion on that. Thanks for your patience listening. Kindly attend the test and check your understanding. God bless you, my dear students. Have a great day ahead.